What is framing, and how on earth is it jacking conversions through the roof for so many copywriters, making them more money and making them happier and making their wives and husbands say, I think I'll stick around longer because you're epic? I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm John Benson, and this is Sales Copy Secrets. And this is what is framing when it comes to copywriting, not when it comes to building houses. I don't care what framing is when it comes to that, but I do care about it when it comes to copywriting because it jacks up your conversions and your sales, and that means you make more money. At least you probably will make more money. Can't guarantee anything, of course, but I believe if you follow this, you will thank me for it later. You know what I mean? Well, first of all, we have to define what the hell framing even is, right? Because framing is not building the frame inside of a house. Framing is something entirely different when it comes to copywriting. Framing is how you present a topic or a message, which can affect the psychological acceptance or rejection of your prospect or buyer. So what does all that mumbo jumbo even mean? Well, it basically means that the way you present something, whether it's positioned in point A or point B, whether it comes in from the left or the right, figuratively speaking, can affect how your prospect will receive this message. Now, there are a ton of examples that I could give here, but I want to give one from the example of not copywriting, but relationships. Let's say, for example, you sit down with your wife and you say, honey, what you did last night pissed me off, and I am upset with you. And let's say that what she did last night did piss you off, and you are upset with her. Is that the ideal frame for this conversation? Probably not. Probably not going to go that well. But check this out. Same topic, same exact thing. And you sit down with your wife and you say, honey, last night something happened and it made me realize there's a way we can grow closer together. I'd like to talk to you about it. The frame is entirely different, isn't it? It's like, oh, we can grow closer. Something happened last night. I got a little bit of curiosity going on. Then you can say, something that you did upset me, and I realized that why it upset me, and I'd like just to use this to grow closer, versus I'm pissed off at you and you're a bad person and judge. Now, I'm not here to get relational advice away, but if I were here to give relational advice away, I'd say stop judging other people. Let's do it like this. Let's look to build, right? Well, guess what? In copy, it's the same thing. You're looking to build. You're looking to build a case. You're looking to build your prospects' enthusiasm for your offer up, but you're also looking to build your prospects' enthusiasm about themselves up so that they can accept something new, so that they can move forward from a position that they're stuck in right now. Because they wouldn't be watching your VSL or your sales letter or reading your emails if they weren't stuck or if they didn't want to get better at something. And in order to get better at something or to get unstuck, you have to feel good about yourself, at least good enough to move. Does that make sense? That's why framing is so important. I am not talking about sugarcoating, folks. I'm not talking about simply saying, oh gosh, you're so awesome, you're so epic, and I don't like it when you do this, and I love you. You know, the compliment sandwich bullshit? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about framing in a way that you cut through the noise and you get to the heart of the matter in an ethical and honest way where you're not trying to manipulate your partner in this case, or in my example, or you're not trying to manipulate your prospect. Does that make sense? Now, another way to look at framing is the old peanut butter medicine trick that, when you give Rover his medicine, you have to kind of put it in peanut butter and he eats it, thinks it's, oh, yummy peanut butter. In reality, it's something like horrible like he has to take. Well, that's sort of the truth, but again, that gets to a little bit more of that, sugarcoating thing that we were just talking about. There is an element of that going on. You want to introduce things in a way that makes people more receptive to hearing them. But watch when I give you a bunch of examples of how people could introduce something and how I think you should introduce something, and you'll see that, yeah, it's not sugarcoating, it's simply changing the frame. It's changing the position of how you get into the subject. So let's take a look at some examples right now. And by the way, as we look at these examples, you will note that I use sales letter examples. You can frame an entire sales letter, or you could frame just the link that goes to your offer. You can frame everything from subject lines to sentences to words to the entire freaking sales message. So let's look at these examples. Let me give you some non-copy examples first. Non-copy examples. The glass is half empty versus the glass is half full. Okay? I just say the glass has water in it. So it's like I'm in the neutral position here. The glass has water. This is a true statement. The glass is half empty. Some people would say half empty, half full. Half full is being the positive frame of this, right? Well, sometimes half empty would actually be better. Like, for example, if you were saying, hey, listen, you are dehydrated right now and you're running out of time. And guess what? That glass is half full. That doesn't make any sense. That glass is half empty. That makes all the sense in the world in that context. So framing involves context. Super important. Let's look at another non-copywriting example here. What you did pissed me off. I just went over this one. Versus I have a way for us to get even closer. Now, I parenthetically made that super short, right? I just trimmed it all down. But you got the example that I read off earlier. That's a great way of framing for relationships. Very rarely will this piss me off or you're an awful person. Very rarely will that get you anywhere in life, let alone with someone that you love. And especially, this is true with someone that doesn't know you, someone that's trying to feel their way into the person and the offer that you're presenting. So you want to really be cautious with this, and you want to frame things in the most positive, but also the most receptive way possible. Like, for example, in my glass half empty analogy before, it would have been stupid to say the glass was half full. So you have to think about it from a position of context and a position of how you want to be seen and a position of how you want your prospect to see themselves. 3 things. Make sense? Great. Let's move on and look at some copywriting examples of framing. Your cost today is blank versus your investment today is only blank. Now, you can take out the word only. Just take out the word only, and just changing the word cost to investment is massive. Cost is usually framed in the mind as a negative thing. This is going to cost me, okay? While investments are usually framed as a positive or at least neutral thing. Like, I have an investment in X. You must believe in that to invest in it, right? Or how are my investments doing? Even if the investments are in the stock, in the toilet, you know that stock investments overall or crypto investments overall is probably a good thing, right? So it's not a negative thing where cost has a negative association to it. That's a simple example of framing. Let's look at another one. Offer valid for 3 days versus offer valid for 72 hours only, okay? 2 words changed, obviously, the 3 days and 72 hours only. Okay, those are, I guess, 3 words that changed. But check that out. 3 days is 72 hours. Which sounds more pressing? Well, most people think 72 hours sounds more pressing because you're literally counting. You're looking at your watch. You're going, oh crap, 72 hours. I better run. You could hear a spy. You could see like a Mission Impossible scene where they're sitting 72 hours. He's not going to say set it for 3 days, right? He's going to say we'll meet back here in 3 days. It's too vague. We'll meet back here in 72 hours. Listen how specific that sounds. So immediately getting super specific, saying the same exact freaking thing, and then I added 1 word only. That's it. So I framed it as 72 hours only. This is going fast. Where the other one is like 3 days, I could take my time, right? Let's look at another example. Only 5% of my clients fail to lose weight versus over 94% of my clients lose weight successfully. Again, it's mathematically the exact same thing, but it's framed entirely different. So notice there's not necessarily a positive and negative. In other words, I'm not trying to compliment anyone. I'm merely going in a different angle. I'm saying over 94% success rate. Wow. Versus, 5% fail, but it's like, and I've seen copy like this, believe it or not, and people can slip up and write them. Now I'm giving you rather obvious examples, but there are nuances that you should look for in your copy and ask yourself, am I framing that in the best way? Is there a better way to frame that? Those are good questions, by the way. Now I'll give you one more example, and this is a frame for an entire sales letter, an entire message, literally an entire VSL. 7 reasons why your copy isn't working versus the 1 reason your copy isn't working. The 1 reason your copy isn't working. Well, you know what I think about the word 1. You know what I think about having 1 idea. Even if there are 7 components of that 1 idea, the 1 reason is called blank. And let me tell you what goes into blank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Your mind can wrap around whatever you call that blank, which is called a primary cause in Copy Pro lingo below. You can check that out if you want to. 1 reason, 1 primary cause that you are failing, 1 primary solution that will help you succeed. These are very important frames inside copy because your mind can frame 1 idea much easier than it can frame 6 or 4 or 3 or 7. It doesn't matter. 1 idea is superior. Now, I got a lot more videos for you on this very topic. You can look below. And until next time, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe if you want to, leave me a comment, let me know how I'm doing, and smash that notification bell so that you can be notified when my new videos drop. I'm John Benson, and as always, I'm here to help make you unignorable.